Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're live again, and I told you again we would be sharing some more of my staycation with my grandkids this week. We're having a super good time despite the heat. We're staying in the shade for this little segment today. It's 96 degrees out, and it's supposed to get up to 106 today. But this was a stop that I really didn't want any of you to miss. So frequently when I have visitors that are coming from like the Kansas City or Lawrence or even Manhattan, Topeka area, and they'll say, well, we plan to get on I-70 and we plan to just come straight to Salina and go south to Lindsborg. I'll say, well, if you don't mind a little bit longer trip, this is really the way I think you should go, because it's such a fantastic, beautiful drive. It's just a beautiful drive. It's a peaceful drive. And it also has some of the greatest history, I believe, not just of Kansas, but of the United States as well. And today I have Heather with me at the Tallgrass National, help me say it.
No problem. It's a mouthful. Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve.
Yeah. I'm always like, mouthful. But this is a favorite place of mine, which you wouldn't know by my not being able to say it. But I love to come here. It's just so peaceful. It's so beautiful. And it tells such a great story. We're echoey here a little bit by the visitor center. But we're actually in a building that the top of it has prairie on it.
Grass on it. Sure
you want
does.
to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, the building was placed here so that we wanted to make sure that it didn't impact, the visual landscape, but also kind of blend in. And so, with that in mind, you have the limestone facade all the way around, and then to help kind of blend into the hillside, we have a sod roof kind of on top. We will be changing a little bit of that actually in this year.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've had some leaks and things, but we are working a little bit of. But so that will change. It'll actually be more of a metal roof and fit in more with like the ranching legacy as well. So, but still the limestone on the front to help blend in. But
so the Tallgrass Prairie, from I think what I understand was like 170 million acres
at one time,
and it's been reduced by 96%.
Exactly.
Just because of
how our history developed.
Yes.
So basically, as people went further west, our nation developed. It was just used up. So we used up for cities and towns and farms and ranches and stuff. And that's just how our country was settling as it went from East Coast out to the West Coast. And so, but here in the Flint Hills, what kept this intact was the geology.
Yes.
Okay?
So talk about that a little bit, because
Absolutely.
it's definitely unique.
It is very unique. And so in the National Park Service, there are spots that actually have small snippets of prairie, but nothing that is this large. And so that was one of the main reasons that we were set aside for the National Park Service, is to have this large spot set aside to preserve and protect for future generations. And it is the geology here in this area in Kansas, and it goes all the way up to the Nebraska border, all the way down into Oklahoma. And so, this is an excellent place for grazing. And so ranchers often, they knew that the Flint Hills was the place to have ranching take place.
Still today. It's super nutritious grass. I've heard something like cattle can gain like 4 to 5 pounds a day or something crazy.
A little bit less than that.
A little bit less, okay.
2 or 3 pounds, but
still
that's
a
still
lot.
a lot. That's still a lot.
lot.
And so they were finding that out as they were bringing cattle up from Texas and going up into Kansas. They soon found out that once they reached Kansas, the cattle were actually gaining weight because they're munching the whole time and they're losing weight. But when they got to Kansas and started,
they were gaining.
But yeah, this area, just like she was saying, is just a beautiful place. It's very peaceful. People come out to go hiking and experience the Tallgrass Prairie. But again, it's that geology, because at one time, science tells us that this was an inland sea.
Yes.
And so you have different layers of limestone and flint found within the limestone layers, and shale as well. So there's a large history, millions of years of that as well. But
so if you come here, what can you do? What would people expect to
Sure.
do if they come to the visitor center?
Well, we have, so there's 11,000 acres here at the preserve, and there's 40 miles of hiking trails. A lot of people, since COVID, this has become a mecca for people to come out and just be able to social distance, properly.
Yes.
And come out and just get away from all the hecticness of their own home life and being inside all the time. We also have a bison herd that people can come out, and actually there's a trail that hikes out through that pasture, so we definitely make sure that people are safe. They know what to do, not do, so they can come out and go hiking. We have the historic ranch building structures that are open. We just now reopened the house that had been closed closed for about 10 months.
And it was considered a mansion in its
It
day.
really
It's a
was.
beautiful, beautiful limestone home.
It really is, and it was built in 1881, so it's 140 years old.
Wow.
And we finally got the funding to rehabilitate it, and it's also now 2 of the 3 floors are handicap accessible, so people
wow.
in wheelchairs can actually
That has
experience.
never been.
It's never been.
Never
so
been
it's really
before.
exciting that
That's
we finally
fantastic.
have that. So the parlor's on the front
That's
porch.
super.
You can come around and go in that direction, or you can go on the back porch and go in the middle floor. We'll be working on probably some videos to do the 3rd floor and such,
Okay.
but that's a big feature now. So people.
Yeah,
we've
that's
got-
all new. Super new.
We have wallpaper in it now, as
Oh,
well as
wow.
there's furniture. It's a work in progress.
Work in progress, but
It's
yeah.
so
And I'll be
things-
sharing some pictures of that as we go along today, because it's something that was not the last time I was here. So I'm excited to see that today.
It's great.
Also, those stone buildings are pretty cool, which is a pretty amazing thing in and of
It
itself.
is.
That was a good way to have kind of semi-air conditioning back in the day.
Exactly. So the barn is open, the
Okay.
schoolhouse is open as well, the house, and then the other outbuildings too. So you can go on a self-guided tour.
Okay.
We do have a ranger station inside the house, and we're doing walking trail tours as well as house tours and things. So
Okay.
we don't have the bus tour this year. We normally would have
Yes.
that, but we've got some issues there, so we're not
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
bus
Bus
tours.
tours
But
yet.
people still can go out and hike, or they can take one of our Southwind Nature Trails, little hikes, and go on those as well. So some of the things.
So thank you to Heather for giving us this oversight of everything.
welcome.
And stay tuned, because I'm going to be taking some pictures with grandsons as we do a little bit here. And then we're headed on into Cottonwood Falls for another treat. So stay tuned. We'll see you a little
Bye,
bit later live today. Bye-bye.
Bye.